Hello, everyone. I'm Alberto with the Outaouais Herb Gathering, and I'm here with Dr. Hemant Gupta, Doctor of Ayurveda. He will be teaching one of the workshops at the Outaouais Herb Gathering this coming August 9th, 10th, and 11th. He'll be teaching on August 10th specifically. And before we get into a chat with Dr. Gupta, I'm going to briefly bring you to the Outaouais Herb Gathering website so that you can become familiar with it. And give me one second while I share my screen. Here we go. So we're on the Outaouais Herb Gathering website. As you can see, it's August 9th, 10th, and 11th. And just for those who need it spelled out, as I did myself, it's Outaouais herbgathering.com. And the website is available in English and in French, of course. You can buy tickets here. But of course, if you want to find out more details about what Outaouais means, for example, or specifics for each day at the event, you can find that by scrolling down on the homepage. And the prices for the different tickets are available on the bottom. You have a Saturday workshop. That's a one-day pass. Saturday is where you will have the bulk of the workshops. And Dr. Gupta will be teaching on Saturday, the August 10th, the full weekend 3-day pass, which includes the Friday evening as well as intensives on Sunday morning, and the one-day pass for the intensives as well. There is a Saturday dinner that's available, as well as camping and speakers notes. And you can click on this green icon here that says tickets. But I encourage you to visit, of course, where the Outaouais Herb Gathering will be hosted, which is at La Fée des Bois in Shawville. And so make sure you go to herboristerie lafedesbois.com. And this site is available in English and French as well, where you can find out all about the beautiful location that the Outaouais Herb Gathering will be hosted at. I also encourage you to visit Dr. Gupta's website, holisticayurveda.ca, where you can find out all about him, his book, and any of the programs, classes, and all of the offerings that Dr. Gupta has to offer. With that, I'll bring you back to the Outaouais Herb Gathering site, and we'll come back to the workshops. This is where you can find where all of the different workshop topics are by day. But before we get into that, I wanted to ask you, Dr. Gupta, how did you get into Ayurvedic medicine? And why don't you tell us a little bit about your story?
Yes, very interesting and inspiring story for myself as well. Actually, I have a family tradition of Ayurvedic practice. My grandfather was practicing Ayurveda. He was not certified, but that's how it was at that time. My grandfather from mom's side and my maternal uncle, they were all into this medicine. So I watched them when I was very young, like 6 years, 7 years old. I watched them preparing fresh herbs. And actually, my grandfather was very famous for a herbal preparation for burn, even third degree burn. So it comes from family tradition. And then when I was in higher secondary and looking for my career, that's the time when we started looking. My father told me, why don't you try in Ayurveda? And I got the admission, which is a competitive exam. I did my undergraduate degree. And then I usually at that time, people were not doing masters, but I went for master's degree as well in internal medicine. So that's total about 10 years, including internship and everything of school. I was in teaching in India in Ayurvedic colleges. 1991, I was hired by Maharishi International University to teach Ayurveda across the world. And that was eye-opener experience for me because I thought that I have learned in 10 years. How can I teach over a weekend, 1 hour workshop or 3 hours workshop or weekend workshop? I thought, how can I? But then I had that experience and kind of training as well with a very fulfilling experience myself. In 1995, I came to Iowa in the US in the University College of Vedic Medicine. They gave me charge of creating the curriculum and teaching the curriculum for undergraduate and then for masters. That was also a very amazing experience. So now I have students all across the world in Switzerland, Europe, in Canada, US. In 2007, actually 2003, I came to St. John's, Newfoundland, and then I moved to Ottawa. And this is the practice where I actually I'm founder and director of Holistic Ayurveda Student Wellness Center for almost 16 years. And now I have no reason. It's so fulfilling, so happy. I have no reason to move anywhere else. It's a very great living experience and very great professional experience. And Ayurveda is close to my heart because of its principles, founding principles. It is nature, all about nature, nature of self, nature of cosmos, and integrating both for creating a holistic health plan. I teach that, I offer that plans, and I apply to myself. So it's amazing experience. It's my passion.
Yeah, wonderful. You can tell how passionate you are about it. And speaking of it, and it's so perfect because the theme of the Outaouais Herb Gathering this year is the medicine of our ancestors, and so of course Ayurveda is an ancestral tradition with thousands of years of tradition, but how beautiful that even in your own family, your own ancestors were practicing Ayurveda, and you're carrying that forward.
You made a very great point because most of the time the professional training goes by certificate. Mm-hmm. But having ancestral blessings and watching them practice it adds much more to it than just having a certificate.
I can imagine, yeah, seeing it from a little boy, a little kid, and just being immersed in it, and also as a little kid, you learn so much, right? So it just informs your way of being.
My grandfather was involving me in making that particular cream that he was using, and people were coming from thousands of miles when they have burn or something at that time. I mean, I'm talking about. 1965, 68 at that time.
Yeah, and it goes to show too the how powerful herbal medicines can be. When you know what you're doing and you prepare them in the appropriate way, they are incredible remedies. Yeah,
and it's not just the ingredients; it's also energy, putting energy in, so that energy of the one who is preparing it, and sometimes there are some chantings done during the preparations. So it was not just the ingredients, but it's also infusing energy from the person and energy from the environment, which makes the healing effect much more powerful.
Yeah, and that's what I love about Ayurveda too. It's not just, as you mentioned, as the nature of the plant or the nature of the self and the cosmos, and so it really brings it all together in a beautiful way, because we, especially in the modern day and age, we're so separated, right, from the cosmos, from nature, even, that we need practices like these to bring us back in tune with the natural rhythms.
Yes. It's a beautiful point that you made. Actually, this is the unique thing of Ayurveda, that it has a whole system of personalizing and customizing holistic health plan for every individual. It's not like one tailor-made thing for everyone. For every individual, during my consultation, I spend about 1 hour or more in order to create a personalized based on their dosha type and customized based by applying diet, lifestyle, herbs, etc. to create a complete plan. So that person knows this is plan for me.
Yeah, and as I'm sure you would attest, it's for that person, but also in that moment, right? Because if they come back later, they might need something different, right?
Absolutely. Every time it is. This is a good point that I'm glad that you brought that point. So it's according to situation and according to the person.
Mm. Yeah, that's wonderful. It's so specific, and so we all go through different things, and our health fluctuates. So it's good to know that um, that there's medicine out there that is specific for us in that moment in time. Um, so uh, just to bring it back to the Outaouais Herb Gathering, I'm so excited for your workshop, and I'll read the title here. Dr. Gupta will be teaching a workshop called Ayurveda, Personalized Approach to Total Wellness. So maybe could you tell us a little bit about your workshop?
Yes, so my goal would be, even in that 1 hour or 1.5 hour session, every individual, I explain the principles of Ayurveda, which is about nature based on five fundamental principles. And Ayurveda believes that everything is made up of those five elements: individual, plants, cosmos, nature. Everything is made up of five elements: earth, water, fire, air, and ether. And then I will explain these, how these are relevant for each individual during the workshop, so that people can relate that what does earth mean in their body terms, and what does fire mean. After I will explain all of that, then I will also explain that how everyone is made up of five elements, but with different proportion and combination, and that makes some elements predominant, and that creates their own nature, their own body mind type. So goal would be that during the session, people should be able to identify and know clearly without confusion that what is their dosha type. Dosha is the combination of these five elements, and dosha are three: vata, pitta, kapha. So I will be able to explain that by interactive session, so that people who attend this workshop, they know what is their dosha type. Now, this becomes a reference point for the person for the prevention of illness, for maintenance of health, and for restoration of balance. So the balance means these three doshas, every individual has a balance, and that is unique to that individual. So once the people know that what is their dosha type or what is their body mind type, then the practical purpose is to apply diet, lifestyle, and according to circadian rhythm and according to seasonal rhythm, so that they can apply that, okay, if it is summer, what changes they can make in their diet, lifestyle, what spicing, how much spicy, and what fruits and juices, all of that according to season as well. And for the circadian rhythm, what should be their sleeping pattern, exercise pattern, what should they eat in lunch, each individual, and supper, etc., etc. So this would be the purpose. I may talk, if the time allows, some common herbs, like most common herbs, like curcumin or turmeric, ashwagandha, triphala, like gotukola. So I will talk about some common herbs. At the end, I may take some questions from the audience for how do they feel about it. My experience of offering these workshops, because Ayurveda is so much connected to nature, nature in the sense the people experience, like say if we talk about ginger, everyone knows that it is spicy and what is the taste like. And if we connect the information related to what they experience and what it does when you consume it, like someone has slow digestion, simple remedy as just having a slice of ginger with some lime drop, that works more wonder than any enzyme. So like that, I will explain, and if people raise some questions, then I will give some examples how they can heal themselves and nip the problem in the bud before it becomes too advanced.
Wonderful. Yeah. I look forward to that. It's so wonderful. And especially, so I'm a Western herbalist but in Western herbalism, many of the herbs that you mentioned are used. And I think that this is because of the influence of Ayurveda in the Western world. Like Ayurveda has such a presence in the Western world because of people like you, and people have you've developed university programs to help people learn about Ayurveda. And so herbs like ginger, like cinnamon, like gotu kola and ashwagandha, all these herbs are herbs that Western herbalists now use. But thanks to Ayurvedic practitioners who brought those, who introduced them to the Western world.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Right.
go ahead.
Right. No, I was just mentioning that I'm glad that you brought this point. Uh, it is blessings from my guru, and he gave me a project to teach a 5-day course in Uganda at the time when HIV and AIDS was so much spread out. And he asked me to teach in 5 days. That's the reason I'm bringing this point is relevant here. So I was thinking how I will teach. And these are the people who never went to any school and they couldn't speak or understand English. And I couldn't understand their language. But within those 5 days, I asked them, third day, first day, I told how body works and about the principles, about the 5 elements, about dosha. The second day, I said how they function and how they can interact and during different time of the day and seasons. Third day, I explained them what is balance and what is out of balance and what can bring imbalance. Fourth day, I asked them because they were traditional healers from forest, right? So I asked them, whatever you are using for healing for ages, passed on by ancestors, bring those things. So some, as you said, some brought turmeric, some brought ginger, some brought mint, some cilantro, many kinds of things, roots and fruits and all that. Now, when I asked them, what do they use for? So they would say, oh, joint pain or a scorpion bite or a stomach pain or loose bowels. The main thing here is now. I asked them, so how does it work? We don't know. I was just given this from my ancestors or from my parents and we just use it there. So I said, can you use it beyond what you are using it for now? We don't know. How do we use it? That's where Ayurveda came in. So then I asked them, from your experience, ginger, is it heating or is it cooling? And then this is completely relevant. Even a child can say if something is spicy or cooling. So they said, okay, this is heating. Then I said, you can also use because of heating property in these conditions. So what happened? Fifth day was the last day when the in charge of the district medical officer asked the leader of that group of 20 healers, so what do you feel about Ayurveda? And the expression that person gave, I never forget. He said, we have tasted the fruit of Ayurveda, we want to eat more. So the point is that it is so relevant, so simple, that every person, irrespective of their language, place, country, if they understand language or not, but it is language of nature, they can understand and apply. So at the end, they said, now we can use the herb that we were only using for one single thing. Now we can use for many things. And then also for, say, joint pain, they had only one option. Now they had multiple options because they learned the property and they could combine different, like say ginger and turmeric mixed together. It can be much more potent for joint pain. So this is how now this Ayurveda, that's what Ayurveda is contributing. When my teacher gave me the project to go in South Africa and teach the traditional healers there, in Australia and teach the aboriginals there, in Japan and meet those traditional healers, not the medical doctors. I also taught courses to medical doctors, but more traditional healers. And what I found common, this is the fact. Any part of the world you go, they have original system healing by plants. This is the common thing. If we go back 300, 400, 500 years back, every area has healing system from plants. Only thing that Ayurveda contributed is the founding principles, how they can apply those things. Astringent has a specific effect. Sweet has another specific effect. So if someone wants to gain weight, then they will use more sweet. Someone wants to lose weight, they have to avoid sweet. Please go ahead.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And I think the one of the things I appreciate about Ayurveda the most is how for thousands of years they've been able to maintain the tradition and the system of classifying the herbs and observing people assessment. It's a very comprehensive system and just to be able to survive the changing of the modernization of the world, and it's still here, and people like you are carrying that torch. It's amazing. So maybe to close out, why don't you share with us briefly where would you like to see herbal medicine and Ayurveda going for the future of in this century?
Well, if I say this in one word, Ayurveda, because of its principles, because it is based on nature and study of nature and experience of nature, it has true potential to empower every individual for self-care. You don't have to be a medical doctor to practice Ayurveda, unlike other healing systems. This is a true potential where even a child can learn and apply it. So my goal, and that was also my teacher's goal, is to provide this knowledge, spread this knowledge to every individual, every family, every mother, so that they can take care, they can feel empowered to take care and eat the foods in a specific season, and apply the knowledge of spices and herbs on day-to-day basis. And this is what it's like mom's recipes, which is very common in India. You go to every village and they have different kinds of recipes. So my goal would be to spread this knowledge, every person, every individual, with social media, with so many kinds of resources. Now it is possible. Because now you have brought this point, I have created a course, and it is complimentary, completely free, Introduction to Ayurveda. I created that for my clients, but any individual can take this course. It's about 30 videos, and it's on Udemy, Udemy, and you can search Introduction to Ayurveda by Dr. Gupta. So I have that course available. Why I made this? Just to answer your question. I want to spread this knowledge and make this accessible to every individual, because I believe this is truly empowering for self-health care.
Wonderful. Yeah. How beautiful. That's great. What a wonderful offering. 30 videos for free to learn. That's beautiful. So Udemy, I'll make sure that the link is included in the description for the video.
It's also there on my website.
On your website? Okay, perfect. Yeah, maybe I'll, I didn't know that you had this course, but maybe we'll share your website briefly again so we can show people where they can find it.
If you can share, and then I can. So you go down, scroll down, please. Further down. So this one. Yeah.
Okay.
Now so you go further down. So there is a Udemy. Yeah, this one. Yeah.
Okay,
Join the Udemy course.
Yeah, click on this orange link here, and then that will bring you to the course. How wonderful. Great. And is there anything else you wanted to mention about your website or your book or anything else?
Well, yeah, the book is available. Actually, book is physically now not on Amazon. It is available on Kindle. But otherwise, we have here at the center. And I would also like people that you please come and experience the session for consultation, in which I also use pulse reading. Now, this pulse reading is not pulse counting, unlike in medical office where you count pulse rate. This is not pulse rate. We use three fingers, index, middle, and ring for these doshas. And we identify or assess organ balance or imbalance. And then also look at the tongue for gut health. So I will suggest that anyone who want to get an experience, this will be a good session where we get total assessment and then complete recommendations. Please come for the workshop. You will learn a lot and you will be thrilled with that experience as well. I thank Alberto for inviting me for this workshop. I'm so much looking forward for participating in this.
Yeah, it's going to be fantastic, and I think you'll love the property there at Body City, La Fête des Bois. It's beautiful, medicinal herbs growing everywhere, and just very peaceful place. So
I might bring my group, my student group, to actually experience that place.
yeah, that would be wonderful. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But thank you so much for your time and taking a moment of your day to talk with me today. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste.